Wastelands! Bow wow wow. Sounds like someone finally said the magic words that activate my iBot's little subroutine. Now before you go bombarding the great and powerful Three Dog with questions, you gotta know, this is just a recording. I made a bunch of audio logs about things out here in the capital Wasteland and had the Brotherhood scribes upload them into Edna. You say one of the key phrases, and your reward is hearing my golden voice pour out of Edna's speakers like electric honey. Ooh la la. That is assuming this iBot actually makes it out west and isn't playing from inside some Deathclaw's stomach.
Edna, you've been keeping secrets from me. Near I thought we told each other everything. So, what are these key phrases?
I bet you're wondering what these key phrases are. Not so fast, Mysterious Storyteller. You're gonna have to earn it, and I don't mean caps. You gotta spread the word about the good fight. So you're gonna drag this iBot around with you, telling tales about the capital Wasteland, until you say one of my key phrases. Then you get to hear, da 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 da, the secret gospel of Three Dogs. Ow! But I'll give you a hint. One of the magic words is the name of my radio station.
Oh, well, that's an easy one. Galactic Records. No, wait, that's not it. Galaxy News Radio.
Welcome back, children. You're listening to Galaxy News Radio, the heart and soul of the Capitol. For over 10 years. I never thought I'd make it this long without being eaten by a super mutant. I've been running around this station for so long that most people just take it for granted that they hear good old Three Dog anytime they tune in.
Hey everybody, this is Three Dog.
But running a massive media empire in post-apocalyptic isn't as easy as I make it look. This station was off the air for 200 years before I found the place. Most of this equipment rolled off the assembly line back when Dean Domino was still an up-and-coming crooner. I didn't do it all by myself, though. I got a good engineer, Margaret. Well, she's waving now. She doesn't like coming on the air. And I made sure that those technophiles in the Brotherhood of Steel owed me some favors. They helped keep the signal flowing and keep the Frankensteins from overrunning the place. Ooh! Plenty of cats rig up a little broadcast tower and fill the airwaves around their house with whatever they got lying around. But I wanted GNR to be something that would astound the wasteland. Something that would change this hellhole for the better. So I got the Brotherhood to set up a signal transmitter on the tallest thing still standing in Washington, D.C. And now everyone for miles can hear the truth about what's going down in this town. The station is called Galaxy News Radio for a reason. I spin music and run those daring Dashwood adventures, but the real reason I'm here is to spread the word about the good fight. And those little moments when the people of the wasteland stand up to the super mutants, slavers, the Enclave, giant fire-breathing ants, and whatever new horror crawled out of the metro today. Wah, wah. Sorry I'm bumming you out, but it's usually bad news on this side of the country. Of course you know all about that, don't you, Storyteller? You really should tell me how you managed to travel from coast to coast so quickly.
Well, I don't like talking about myself very much, but it would make for an interesting story. You see, I forgot you can't hear me.
If you just tried talking into your iBot, consult your doctor. You may be suffering from a severe case of loneliness. GNR will be back with traffic and weather right after these words from our sponsor. Ow! Oops, I've just been informed that iBots don't have commercial breaks. So go stare at a billboard for a while. And yes, that is a hint for your next key phrase.
And I've been wandering around saying random words to Edna ever since, trying to find the next key phrase to activate another one of Three Dogs' audio logs. So, what's your story?
My story's a long one, friend, and I can't say as it's all that interesting.
Looks like I'll have to rely on Three Dog for conversation. All I know is that the key phrase had something to do with billboards or advertisements. But no one's been making billboards for anything in 200 years. America doesn't need catchy slogans and slick marketing campaigns anymore. No more handsome men in clean suits telling America what to buy and what to think. And, oh, I think I got it. How about rebuilding America's future today?
My fellow Americans, do you dream of the time when baseball fields stretched from sea to shining sea, all the way across this great nation? Do you remember those halcyon days when majestic herds of apple pies roamed the land and frolicked in amber waves of grain? Well, America, as your president, John Henry Eden.
Fooled ya. You're listening to Three Dog. Ow! Bow wow on Galaxy News Radio, the #1 radio station in the greater metropolitan area. Actually, the only radio station in most of Washington, D.C. these days. Except for people who live near that old lady with the violin. Wah, wah, wah. But that wasn't always the case. A few years ago, you couldn't throw a rock in Maryland without hitting an iBot, blasting enclave propaganda. When I started GNR 10 years ago, the worst problem that the Capital Wasteland had was those super mutants dragging folks off to do who knows what to them. And those little floating bots showed up, broadcasting that enclave signal. Some square claiming he's the prez, and saying that everything is fine. All we gotta do is trust the nice men with the flamethrowers, and everything will be all peachy again, like in the old days. A lot of people around here wanted to believe that. Cover themselves in a warm, comforting blanket of crap. So the all-knowing Three Dog had to break the news to him that the Enclave was a pack of crooks and liars. Now, I'm not going to claim to be the savior of the Capital Wasteland. The title belongs to someone else. I can't turn a squad of Enclave Hellfire troopers to dust with a Wazer rifle, like some people. But I will say GNR kept up the good fight when the Wasteland needed it most. But then again, the Enclave wasn't the only thing from the West that smelled like Brahmin shit. And yes, Brahmin shit is a hint for your next keyword. Good luck, storyteller. Now, children, it's time for some music. Here's Roy Brown with a favorite of mine, Mighty, Mighty Man. Ow!
Great. Now I gotta walk around the Mojave asking everyone, what smells like Brahmin shit around here?
You're dead. I'm a mighty, mighty man. I'm young and I'm in my prime. Yes!
What smells like Brahmin shit around here?
My prime. Yes, I'm a real young man. Brand new 25.
What smells like Brahmin shit around here?
Brand new 25.
Who the hell are you? No!
Actually, this place does smell like Brahmin dung. These cons must be using the fumes to make jet.
Because one audio log ain't enough, and two is too few, I made 3 logs. Oh! Well, I know that you cowboys out west love your jet, and I figured you'd say that word pretty quick. So let me tell you a story about my rebellious youth. Oh, that's right. I used to be a wild little 3-pup. before I became a respectable newsman and the voice of the radio-free Wasteland. Some people think I'm a mutant wolfman or a pre-war AI in a shiny mainframe computer spinning oldies from my hard disk. But the great and powerful Three Dog is a real person. Had a mom and dad and all that wholesome crap. They fought the good fight in their own way. Performed live theater, traveled from town to town, and spread the word about life in the wasteland. And that style of storytelling wasn't for me. I like to keep my audience at a distance, and with a few inches of reinforced steel between us. That was back when the Brotherhood of Steel had just arrived in the capital wasteland. A few of the crazier trade caravans from the west followed them here, and the jet dealers were hot on their heels. They say if you remember those days, you weren't there. And old Three Dog was definitely there. Ow! I think. Look, I'm no paragon of virtue. Before I found GNR, I roamed the capital wasteland looking for my true calling inside a jet pipe. I'm not proud of it. But I saw some amazing things when I was out there on my tweaked up vision quest. I met a super mutant who gave me the clothes right off his back and offered me the moon. I saw the hot rods of the gods play chicken in the night sky. And I swear, I had a long conversation with a tree that had a little guy growing out of it.
Actually, he's a guy with the tree growing out of...
All that might have been the jet talking. But when I cleaned up, I knew the world was worth fighting for.
Time to die!
And I knew exactly how I was gonna fight that fight. Not guns, not bombs, the truth. Even when it hurts. You see, Storyteller? You and I ain't so different. One of us clearly has a better sense of style. But that's beside the point. We both know stories are important. They can be a powerful tool in fighting the good fight. So I guess what I'm saying is, keep on trucking, Storyteller. This has been Three Dog from Galaxy News Radio signing off. But before I go, here's an oldie from the Ink Spots for you. Maybe you've heard this one before, or maybe you haven't. But it's time to dust off this classic and take it for a spin.
Well, that was interesting. Come on, Edna. That is your real name. We've got a wasteland to explore.
Maybe you'll think of me when you are all alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in to Fallout Lore. This was the conclusion of Season 2. Special thanks to Erik Todd Dellums for his cameo as Three Dog. I can promise you, we haven't seen the last of him. Before we close out the season, I'd like to give you some exciting news. And no, it's not a Fallout 4 announcement. Sorry. But we do have a special treat for you while you wait impatiently for Fallout 4. Imagine a mysterious companion who follows you around and teaches you about the deep history of one of gaming's favorite franchises. Have you been waiting for such a thing? Well, sadly you'll have to keep waiting, because our Mysterious Storyteller mod is still in development, but it'll be hitting the Fallout Nexus soon, so keep your eyes peeled and we'll post a trailer to this channel the moment the mod goes live. You guys have been asking for it for a while now, so I hope it'll bring you all sorts of happiness.
Wait, I know you. You're the courier, aren't you?
If you're one of our Patreon donors, you can actually help us test the beta version of the mod right now. Obviously though, the final version of the mod will be available to everyone soon, so I highly recommend you check it out. Now, let's talk about the future of Fallout lore. I think it's time we took it to the next level. It's no secret that we've been trying to make Fallout lore a weekly show since Season 1. Now I know this is the part where you guys are probably expecting me to beg for your support in helping us make a Season 3, but I'm gonna do something a little different. I don't get to address you guys directly very often, so I'm going to make the most of this opportunity by speaking with you very bluntly, because chances are, if you're watching this video, you can handle it because you're an adult. How do I know this? A quick look at our channel analytics page reveals that the overwhelming majority of you are not children. By now you should have probably noticed that Fallout Lore is unlike most game-related shows on YouTube. We have a writer named Charles who types up well-researched scripts. We have Mike, a contributor who edits those scripts for factual errors. We have Jason, a professional voice actor who then takes those scripts and comprises his role as the storyteller. Finally, we pass over that narration to Tommy, who has logged over 1,000 hours into Fallout since Season 1, painstakingly recreating scenes in the game engine. At the end of the day, we push out a video that is unlike most of what you'll see here on YouTube. Do you want to know how we get all this fine talent working for us? Do you want to know how we're able to collaborate with all these amazing voices in the gaming industry, like Three Dog and even Commander Shepard? I'm sure other channels would love to have these opportunities. So what makes the Shoddycast so different? What do you think the answer is? I bet you won't guess it. It's not Patreon. Plenty of channels collect donations, and we're no different. Is it because our channel is big? We're relatively small when you start comparing us to the other guys. I'm gonna let you in on our biggest secret. If you're starting a YouTube channel tomorrow, feel free to steal it for yourself and make your own Shoddycast, cause here it is. When a YouTuber, blogger, or podcaster asks you for a donation on the internet, whether it be through PayPal, Patreon, or anything else, they're usually promising that your donation helps them make their content better. And they're not wrong. Many of them keep their word and do just that. They take your money and with it, they start putting in less hours at their day job so they can stay home and make more content for their audience. It really is a great system when you think about it, because whether you donate or not, the content remains free for everyone. I like to compare it to the guitar player on the sidewalk. Anyone can listen to his performance for free, but if you toss him change his way, he'll use it to buy food and continue pursuing his dream. That's how I picture content creators on the internet, as a bunch of scraggly looking dudes with tip jars making a living off their passion. The Shoddycast simply takes that concept one step further. Instead of using your tip money to buy food, we use it to buy a better guitar, or in our case, recording equipment. Instead of taking your money to quit our day jobs, my brother and I scour the internet looking for talented writers and voice actors to make more of the content you love. The Shoddycast as a channel subscribes to a very different notion, a radical notion. We think that every bit of your donation should go toward making your content better for you. It's really that simple. For as long as the Shoddycast has collected donations, we have spent every last penny improving this channel and its content. It may not sound like much, but I'll tell you what, it sets us apart from almost every other channel on YouTube. As Fallout Lore enters its 3rd season, we would like nothing more than to make it a weekly show. The weekly show that everyone has been asking for so long. But the sad truth is, it will never happen. Not without the support from the person who cares about it the most, the viewer. We're not asking everyone to donate. That's unrealistic. But if just 1% of you watching this video decided that now was finally the time to be charitable, just 1% of you visited Patreon today and pledged $1 a month, we can not only make Fallout Lore a weekly show, we could take it to a whole new level. I'm not at all offended or bummed out when people don't donate. I get it. Not everyone wants to pledge money to a Fallout web series, and there's no shame in that. If I was being honest, my days would be a whole lot easier without this show in my life. I've stood up friends on Friday night to help edit scripts. I once didn't go to bed till 6 a.m. because I was editing a video, but I loved every second of it. I mean, who gets to work with Three Dog like that? Oh my god. I love this show, and I want to do so much more with it. Even if you don't have plans to donate, I encourage you to check out our Patreon page to view our progress. Our milestone goals are listed on the left-hand side of the page in detail, and they'll give you a unique insight on what we hope to accomplish with the Fallout Lore series moving forward. Who knows, maybe it's something you'd like to lend a hand in. I'll get off my soapbox now. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, where we'll announce the return date of Fallout lore. Until then, Fallout fans, this has been Josh, and on behalf of all the creators here at the Shoddycast, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.